If you've listened to this podcast, you know that I have/had a massive fear of planes. One of the ways I got more comfortable with flying is directly connected to how you can get more comfortable with taking risks.
How much are you consumed by fear? How much are you consumed by uncertainty? How much do you have risk aversion? And then what is your pain avoidance tendency?
Next Level Nation, today for episode number 2233, how do you get more comfortable taking risks? So we did an episode and we were talking about risk tolerance and all that happy jazz, and I think we should do a part 2 because we didn't really talk about how to get more comfortable taking risks. Okay. I am obsessed with watching videos about planes. Got to do it. I see a video about a plane, got to watch it. Got to. Do I need to know anything about planes? Not really. That has been one of the best things ever for me in terms of feeling safe on a plane. One of the best ways, in my very humble opinion, to increase your ability to handle risk is to get more certain with what the risk actually means. So you and I both have done some ice fishing, ice skating in our days. People would always say, no, it's too thick. It's too thin. You're going to fall through. The ice is, my mom used to say all the time, make sure it's thick enough. You're going to make sure. First of all, do you know how much ice you need? I do. 3 inches. You're good. Get 3 inches of ice. You're going to be fine. You're not going to drive a car on there, but you can walk on it.
You can, though.
I think that's a little
eight
under for my liking.
8, you definitely.
Yeah, 8's a little bit.
8, you can
6
throw
inches, I don't like that type of risk, hypothetically. But
I may or may
if
not have
you
driven a car on the ice.
I do not think I've ever driven a car. I've driven a 4-wheeler. That was really fun. For sure. I've never driven a snowmobile.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's things maybe one of the, maybe you get your shit together and I'll be able to get one, I don't know.
Yeah,
Shots fired.
That'll be my new most important goal.
I appreciate that. I think that would be helpful.
A snowmobile.
I appreciate that. It's Friday when we're recording this. It's been one hell of a day already. Weird moods, great moods, but weird moods and overwhelmed. So yeah, I think that's a piece of it is if you don't know how much of a risk you're actually taking, then you're probably going to overswing and then just not take any risk at all. Dip your foot in the water, take a pole and put it in the pool to see how fucking deep it is before you convince yourself you can't jump in, baby.
I just noticed this. For everyone on YouTube, Kevin doesn't have both of his sides of his collar up. I think that's been bothering me all morning.
You should have told me. I just threw this thing on this morning.
I knew something was off. I just didn't know what.
The funny thing about this thing is I don't want the collar up, but it doesn't. You can't put it down. So what is a man to do?
Man, it's good for the winter. Wind,
Yeah, but I feel like a Abercrombie deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. FERPA. Fear, uncertainty, risk, and pain avoidance. Mm-hmm. Last episode, we described those and talked about a FERPA score. What is your FERPA score?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't even know what the parameters are. High is bad?
Yes. Higher your FERPA score, the less likely you will be successful. Because we all know this, right? So think of someone who avoids pain avoidance, who is constantly afraid, playing not to lose instead of playing to win, who's risk avoidant, and who has a ton of uncertainty. On the last episode, we talked about anxiety attacks. And I asked Emilia why she thinks I've never had them. And she said, Ral wouldn't let you. Ral is her, what she calls my engineering brain. I think that you watching videos of planes to learn about planes is the way that I coped with uncertainty growing up. So whenever I was really uncertain, I think that my brain, I just researched and figured out, oh, we're okay. We're good. Like 1 shark death per year out of 350 million Americans. I'm not as concerned. I'm still concerned, but I'm not as concerned in the water as I was. So for me, stats help me tremendously. In an uncertain world, the stats help. Like, what are the chances that someone breaks into your house? What are the chances that someone mugs you? What are the chances that, like, I think statistics and probability have helped me tremendously. But if you have a low FERPA score or a high FERPA score and you're risk avoidant and you have tons of uncertainty, it's going to be very hard for you to move forward confidently.
The hard thing is I am afraid of a lot of the stuff I do. I just do it anyway. So I guess it's not necessarily in control, but I'm still afraid of stuff. You know? Less so than I've been in the past, but I still am not. Certain things I do that are not like easy. I get nervous before, or I overthink before. So I don't know. I don't know where that puts me on it.
Okay.
It's not super high.
Fear. Where do you think you fall out of 100 people? Do a bell curve. So out of 100 random people on planet Earth, you're one of the 100. What percentile are you in terms of fear consuming you? Do you spend a lot of your life in fear?
Yeah, pretty low. No, I don't feel like if I do spend time in fear, I don't let it control me for long. So it's probably low. I would say in the lower 5% probably. Nice. I'd have to imagine.
And listener, right? I want you answering too. If you want. Next is uncertainty. How much uncertainty do you live in? Now, this is a weird one because it is based on where you live. It's based on your goals. It's based on...
Yeah. Less than ever.
You know what's interesting is you and I have more uncertainty. So we work with right now 117 podcasters and business owners. I have 22 clients on my roster currently. That's a lot of uncertainty. But I have a lot more certainty in my personal life than I used to. Like being with Emilia, for example. That gives me tremendous certainty. Whereas when you're single, you're very uncertain. You're much more uncertain. You don't know who your person is. You don't know. I love the fact that I'm in a long-term committed, mature relationship where good. Don't check the box like you're done. You keep dating your partner, but that's the plan. So it's almost like in order to achieve big goals, you have to have certainty in these other areas. Like, for example, if we were worried about our health right now, it would be very hard for us to do a good episode.
Right now, I have probably the least uncertainty I ever have. Not ever, but since we started this, in the beginning, it was fucking brutal. Just brutal. The worst. The fucking worst. I don't know how I'm going to pay for food tonight. It's like I shouldn't spend money on food because I don't have any money. Okay, let me go record this episode. Let me go interview this millionaire about how they became a millionaire.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Fucking brutal. But now, no, I feel like in things that I value, even when I have uncertainty, I try to find answers. In things that I don't care about, I just don't waste my time. So low. I would say probably bottom 10% on that one, I would say.
Then you've got risk. What's your risk tolerance?
Probably pretty high.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to do some reckless stuff.
Yep.
I like to do some reckless stuff.
Risk.
I told a story on a podcast the other day about how I remember in high school, we used to take the big thumbtacks and stick them in our arms. And how it makes us, when it pierces the skin, it makes a popping sound. And I was like, I probably didn't have to say that. I probably didn't have to say that on the podcast. I think they probably get the point. But we were talking about how I don't know. It's like I
realized that this one doesn't work. Because if you have a high risk tolerance, you'd give it. You see how I screwed up? Yeah. So again, all the listeners, viewers, figure this out for yourself. Obviously, the more fear, uncertainty, and risk aversion and pain it should be FURAPA. Fear, uncertainty, risk avoidance, pain avoidance. But if you're someone who, real quick, success podcast, real quick. If you're someone who handles fear well and doesn't have a lot of it, is very certain and confident and competent, and is okay with taking risks, and is not avoidant of pain, you're just gonna be you're just going to be more.
Can you compartmentalize it though? Like I feel like outside of, I'm not that risk averse outside of this. Like I don't speed. I stop at every stop sign all the time.
Yeah, you are a rule follower in certain things. I'm
definitely a rule follower. But when it comes to this type of stuff, I think there's like compartments.
Agreed.
I don't think I'm not naturally risk averse. I'm not naturally somebody who does well with uncertainty. I think I've had to learn how to be. So that's a piece of it too, I think.
Yeah. Well, you have like a global risk tolerance. I don't mean global as in the earth. I mean you as a human. And then you have my risk tolerance in fitness. My risk tolerance in fitness is much higher than my risk tolerance in rollerblading. Right?
Right.
When I was a kid, I was rollerblading, and I had a high risk tolerance there for sure. But I wonder too, can you be successful without being a little bit reckless? I'm wondering. I mean, you can traditionally, right? I mean, you can.
Well, it depends on what level of success.
Exactly.
That's always the question is...
The next level of success, Kevin.
Something's going to have to change. I don't know if it's that. I don't know what it is. Something will have to change. Something will have to shift. Something will have to evolve. You have to let go of something or grab onto something. Yeah, something. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, the aversion to change. People who have an aversion to change and uncertainty. Yeah.
I know too many people that had too little of a risk tolerance.
Agreed.
And that didn't serve.
Yeah, I have a friend I'm thinking of growing up with. He was stud. Smart as hell. Just so fearful. Cowardly. Love him. Great guy. Just brother.
I mean on the other end too, though. Like some people that weren't afraid of anything. It's like, well, you should.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the last episode.
Something.
You said there were some people in our high school that were not risk averse. They showed up. Tell this story. I was in high school. We threw a party at a different town. And this group of guys were known as the badasses, and I guess earned in a way. I kid you not. The other town kids wanted to fight them, and they said, "We'll be right back." And they got more people, and they showed back up with bats. And I was like, "Yo, you guys got to go. We can't do this. Like this is supposed to be a party. This is supposed to be fun." And I remember thinking, you guys are out of your fucking minds. You have a lot, like, you get one concussion, that ruins your life.
Or you knock somebody out and they crack their head. I had a friend, I think I told this story, but it's the most reckless thing ever of all time. I get in the car, we're supposed to hang out, and he's like, "Hey, we're going to pick somebody up." I was like, "Who are we going to pick up?" And it was one of the most badass dudes in our school. And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "We're going to a fight." And I was like, "I'm not going. I don't want to go. I didn't sign up for this shit." We roll up to a parking lot. There's a couple kids waiting, and I don't even remember what happened. I think I just like disassociated completely.
Did you fight?
But yeah, no, fuck no. I'm not fighting these people I don't know.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I trained so much in fighting is because I was so afraid of fighting.
For sure.
I don't want to fight. I want to know how, but I don't want to.
That stuff is reckless. You gotta. There's two.
So that to me, that's like, I don't know. I know a lot of people in high school had way higher risk tolerance than I did that are not doing well.
I know. That is true.
So it's got to be weighed.
There's an optimal. There's too much, too little.
Yeah.
Too much, too little. Too much, too little. So some people are too risk averse and they never ask a girl out like my friend. It's, "Brother, you're a stud. You're a stud." She's going to say yes. I guarantee it. You just got to ask, right? She's not going to come to you. And he didn't. And then you've got someone who is just reckless, just pure reckless wrecking ball. And that's just dangerous.
How, from your perspective, I have my answer, what's worked for me, but how do you suggest somebody gets more comfortable taking risks?
First, you have to identify which end you're on. So in this question, I'm presupposing this person is risk averse.
Yeah.
Well, now you take calculated risks. That's one thing that I think, when I say conscientious, it's my favorite word for success, other than self-belief. Conscientious. It means you take calculated risks. So what's a good example of this? Sending an email. I have an email I'm going to send later. It's a calculated risk. This person might be upset, but I don't think they will be. I think there's a 90% chance that they are excited and willing to move forward. There's a 10% chance they say, fuck you, I'm out. And most likely there's some in between there, obviously. But I'm gonna do it because it's a calculated risk. But I think that most of us are afraid of something. So for me, I'm afraid of being too intense or coming off as arrogant and all that kind of stuff. And the last couple episodes, I was less conscientious. I was more in flow and I was more in my warrior and I was way more intense. And right now I'm more conscientious. So I'm taking more calculated risks. I think that's what you do. But I wonder, and this is me projecting, I don't think other people are calculating probabilities as much as me.
That's fair.
I saw a man when I was younger. It was a dark winter night, as all good stories start. And I kid you not, this dude's ripping across. This made me think of it earlier. We were talking about ice. You were talking about the ice. This dude was ripping across the pond on a snowmobile doing at least 90. Ripping. And when you go off the ice onto the land, there's a lip. And there's trees to the right and my house basically to the left. And he caught a root and he was, I'm telling you, an inch away from death. And I remember thinking, like, what a fucking idiot. And I grew up with people like that, for sure. My stepdad, my mom, they were around a lot of reckless people. And I remember thinking, like, I'm not going to do that. Now, I'm not, I want to make this clear. I also was kind of reckless too, I think. Yeah. But it was always calculated. When we went and brought the car on the ice, we actually did the math. We did how many how many pounds is the car? We looked it up, Google. We actually had a pen and paper out doing it. And we got in a lot of fucking trouble for that, by the way. But it's like, well, that's not normal. Someone drove a car on the ice? Yeah, that was us. That was us. We calculated it. No one trusts that. And so I would say I was in the high end of risk tolerant. However, it was always calculated. So that's my answer is calculate the probability of catastrophic failure.
How do you do that?
I
think for most people, there's like, I need proof. I was squatting the other day and I was like, I probably should. I don't know.
Yeah.
My back's a little tight. I literally got to the gym and I was like, I can't do legs today. My back's a little tight. And then I got under it and I was like, we're fine. And then I just kept going. And then I literally, the thing I said to myself was, I've done this many times. I've never hurt myself. The odds are just pretty low. I'm going to be fine.
Okay. So that's exactly what we're talking about. In the gym, there's always that moment. I think this is the best metaphor of this is a risk. This is a risk, but it's worth it.
But would you know if you hadn't gone to the gym for however long you've gone to the gym for? Like, what was it like in the beginning?
In the beginning, it was the same principle, but different. But you had to test the bar first, and then, right. So, but by that rationale, you never push beyond your current. So I in the gym the other day, I got 4 PRs, one of the best workouts I've ever had. And I have to specify this. PRs in my 30s.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I was literally going to say, what do you...
PRs in my 30s. Yeah, okay. If you look at my 30s, it's not that hard. In my 20s, what the hell, man? Damn. But anyway, so I reset based on each decade. I'm going to do that in my 40s too, probably. We'll see. But 4 PRs, awesome, great. You cannot grow unless you go beyond your current capabilities. But if you go beyond your current capabilities, you might get injured. And I think that is a principle that we all have to do. Like, no matter what, you have to go beyond what you've ever done. Otherwise, you'll only do what you've ever done forever.
So I'm on the opposite. I think you should undershoot less until you hit maximum capacity.
You never hit maximum capacity.
Maximum current capacity.
Okay.
And then you know. Because again, you get under the bar. Again, we're talking fitness because that's like the only thing we do. It's either fitness or golf, and Alan doesn't play golf, so I can't fucking talk about it.
You can.
You get under the bar, and if it's the first time you've tried it and it's too heavy, I mean, it could be devastating. And people have died, quite literally have died from trying to lift too much weight and the weight falling on them. That happens all the time. That is probably fairly common.
I never on that. When you say
probably
fairly
more common than people
it's
think.
Probably not that.
I mean, you're most likely never going to see it, right? You're most likely never going to see it, but you're also never going to see somebody scratch the winning lottery ticket in front of you. Like, that's not going to happen either, most likely. You searching? I'm curious.
This is a U.S.-based podcast, but I also know there's people all over the world. I'm just doing the stat in the U.S. because I know how many people are in the U.S. There's 350 million people in the U.S. How many people per year die? And the U.S., I do think, is the biggest bodybuilding nation. I do believe that's true. California, mostly. How many people per year die in the U.S. from catastrophic weightlifting failures?
Let's say weightlifting
accidents.
We'll see what we got.
What do you think, Kev? I'm thinking 25. No, it's got to be higher than that. All right, 1,000. I'm going to call it 1,000. I didn't look.
Three a day? Two and a half a day? No.
114.
I was literally going to say 150.
I went to, what did I say? 25, and then I was like, it's got to be more than that. I jumped to 1,000. So 100. 114.
How many people win the lottery each year?
Wait a minute. I don't know. I can look it up. Given the 114 death figure over 17 years, it's actually 6.7. Yeah, it's low. It's low.
Okay. All right, so not super
that's
high.
Deaths. That's injuries is going to be crazy. Yeah, but this is good. I'm glad we're doing this. What did you?
And I can't even imagine how many people win the lottery in the U.S. It's got to be it's way higher, right? It's got to be.
I don't know. One thing I will say, I went on a AI podcast pre-chat earlier, and he asked me how I use AI. I said, quite frankly, we use it for other things, but for the most part, it's just like I treat it like my own personal researcher. I think it's awesome. He said something really powerful. Maybe we'll do an episode on this at some point. He said, some people use AI to offload thinking. Other people use it to amplify their thinking. And he said, you're the second one. I said, thank you. In 2023, U.S. players spent about $103 billion on state lotteries, and prize payouts were about $69 billion. I wonder who's winning in that equation.
Well, I was going to say, there you go. There's your business model.
I wasn't able to locate a clear number for how many individual people win the lottery in a year across all prize levels. If by win the lottery you mean the jackpot winners, how many jackpot winners? Yep. If you like, I can dig. Yes, please do.
So most likely you have a better chance of dying in the gym. Winning the lottery than dying in the gym.
Yeah.
That's my guess, right?
2025, 5. So far.
Okay,
5
you have a better chance of winning the lottery.
8 winners in 2024 out of 350 million people in the U.S. And I'm rounding up. I think it's 340 something.
Interesting.
Anyways.
Okay.
So what's the point of all this? Risk. Yeah. So when you buy a $1 lottery ticket, there's very low risk. And there's potential huge reward. I think that's why people do it. I think it's stupid intellectually, mathematically. I do. Yeah. But everything in life is a risk. Social risk, economic risk, physical risk.
Remember the movie Along Came Polly?
Oh yeah,
Stiller and Jennifer Aniston. Wasn't he a Iceman? Wasn't he a risk?
Yes.
That's what he did for a living, and it was all based on the numbers.
Never told you this, but we had a risk chair at our fraternity. Mm-hmm. And the social chair, their job was to make the parties ragers. And I was best friends with the social chair, and we were kind of doing it. And then the risk manager was supposed to mitigate. But me and Greg were far more persuasive than the risk manager.
I would have definitely been the risk manager.
I don't know, man.
For sure.
If you were, that would have been a great time, because
that would have been the risk
there was
manager.
One party where you have a different shot in every room, and there's like It's called Around the World. And we had a good time.
I don't think I would have survived college. I think it's really good that I didn't go, honestly. I think it's...
We would literally hire...
I think it's really good.
...the police to ensure everything was sound outside.
I went to one college party, UMass Dartmouth.
Nice.
Okay, with one of my buddies. Okay.
Speaking of risk.
I got so drunk at the pregame. I remember saying, like, dude, you better keep up. And he's like, brother, this is a pregame. Like, we're not going out for like 6 hours. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, this is Matt. Oh my God, I've messed up. Terrible. We go, and again, this is the reckless piece. We go to a bar and I bump into, and this is not an exaggeration, at this point, it was the strongest kid in UMass Dartmouth's history. The strongest. He was giant, a giant. I bumped into him and I was very drunk. And I was like, what are we going to do? What are we going to fucking do?
What are we going to do?
And then luckily, Matt, my buddy, came over and saved me because I would have probably gotten killed. And I think that's why he didn't do anything, because he was like, dude, get off my foot. What are you doing here? You can't. So sometimes risk is not a good thing.
All right, well, we got to jump here.
We do.
Everyone, if you live in fear, uncertainty, have risk avoidance and pain avoidance, you're not going to be able to. And Jim Rohn has a great quote. He's a personal development speaker. He says, if you think investing is risky, wait till you get the bill for not investing. If you think getting married is risky, wait till you get the bill for not getting married or falling in love, in this case. He said, well, then fine, go huddle in a corner. We'll throw a blanket over you, give you 3 meals a day. He said, life is risky. It's all risky. You might as well live fully. I like it. I think it's good. And I do agree. And I'm glad we took the risk to start this company. I'm glad.
100%.
Half the things I say on this podcast that I don't want to share are risks. I'm expecting some message. I got a message, shout out to you, Phil. I did get a listener who reached out about the homeschool thing, and he was super kind. I appreciate it. I literally said to him, thank you so much. As a fellow podcaster, you know how much I appreciate. You made this very clear. It was not an attack. Because when you're a podcaster, people think that they can just kind of reach out and say, hey, you said something dumb on the podcast, and I'm going to attack you for it. And it's like, listen, I literally said on the show that I don't homeschool and I don't have kids and I don't know the stats, and please reach out kindly. So Phil was super respectful. But at the end of the day, everything you do is for success is going to be a risk. And you can't be reckless, but you have to put yourself out there.
My takeaway is get certainty and then increase risk over time. That's it. You don't learn to snowboard on the biggest mountain. You learn to snowboard on the bunny hill. And then you work up to whatever it is, green diamond or green, whatever. I don't even know the things anymore. I haven't been in many years. But then eventually you get to the place where you feel comfortable going up a little bit. And I think it's like everything else in life. You get rejected by something that doesn't matter that much. You get a failure that isn't the end of the world. Why are you smiling like a weirdo? Oh my God, he's frozen. All right, so Alan's laptop has died. So Alan is not with us at this very second, but I'm going to get us out of here, as I do, because we're not going to miss. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you join Next Level Nation, our private Facebook group that is all about getting to the next level. We have book club every single Saturday, 12:30 Eastern time, and all the other happy jazz that we have is at nextleveluniverse.com. As always, I love you because Alan's not here. I appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as committed as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we, both of us, not just me, will be here to help you get there.